Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste and welcome to everybody. Welcome to the study of the Bhagavad Gita in depth. And the in-depth part comes from this class relying on Adi Shankara's commentary to this text, which, like anything that Adi Shankara has written, is extremely valuable because it takes us to places where simply the study of the verses of the Gita will not. And that is because the commentary of Adi Shankara, he will say this himself when we start studying the commentary. That is because the commentary of Adi Shankara was written expressly to dismiss and negate two things. First, to negate the wrong ideas of the self that the heart nurtures, waters, feeds. But why would the heart feed the wrong ideas of the self and nurture that? Because it doesn't know any better. Because there is such a thing as self-ignorance. Self-ignorance by itself, as we have seen in other contexts, is not harmful because dogs don't know their true nature, neither do cats, nor buffaloes, nor alligators. Big cats, panthers, pumas, lions, tigers, cheetahs, and the like. And they seem to be okay. In fact, they are better off than us in dragging an innocent gazelle into their den and polishing it off. They feel no guilt. Neither does a donkey when it kicks somebody conveniently standing behind. Even if that person happens to be a sadhu, it doesn't turn around and ask for pardon. Sorry, Maharajji, I did not see you. It doesn't ask for pardon. There is no guilt. There is no hurt, unless, of course, the animal is abused by us. And so, from this, it is clear that this self-ignorance appears to cause the problem of guilt, hurt, lack, a sense of wanting, a sense of dysregulation with oneself, with the world at large, with other people, and with what we call God, Ishvara, the source of the universe. This seems to be an eminently human problem, not the problem of everyone, all the jantus, all the jivas in the universe. And this is because even though all the beings in the universe are under the spell of Maya Shakti in the form of Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance, in the form of self-ignorance, what happens is that there is some kind of a special way in which the self-ignorance manifests in the human being. And what is that special manifestation? In Sanskrit, it is called ayatha grahanam, anyatha grahanam. Grahanam, grasping. Agrahanam, not grasping. So, in the animal world and also other living beings, the world of other living beings, such as plants, microbes, etc., fungi, etc., there is only agrahanam. They do not know their nature as revealed by the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. The matter is simple there, since they don't know their nature, and then they don't seem to want or to strive for anything other than what they have. They seem to be living under the programming of Bhagavan. They are programmed to eat certain things and not certain other things. And a cow will politely refuse a hamburger, it will not eat it. And in cases where they have mixed some kind of meat into the feed of the cows, it has resulted in a travesty called mad cow disease. This is something which is very sad to see. So they don't go against their own nature. And the nature is programmed by Mother Nature, Prakriti, Ishvara, in the form of the Shakti. It is programmed by the goddess. They don't overeat. They don't have this problem of, they don't go to Overeaters Anonymous. They don't appear to have some kind of addictions to fulfill some problems that they are facing in their lives. They don't overcome the problems by addictions. They live they live and die in a programmed way. But with the human being, it's almost as though Mother Nature, this Bhagavati, has made us unprogrammed. We are not programmed. If we are not programmed, the question is, what are we? Invested with free will, conscious of ourselves and conscious of the world around us, deeply and completely conscious. And then, as a result of this free awareness, there is free will to negotiate one's own world and that of, and that of one's own subjective world of fears, tears, etc., and the objective world of Bhagavan, full of all kinds of laws in which we abide. There is room to negotiate. There is room to do. There is room to not do. There is room to do differently. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyatha va kartum shakyam. Seems to be a choice as far as actions go, and because there is free will. And this free will is both a blessing. It's a blessing because the choices are limitless. It's a blessing primarily because it gives one the impetus to seek the truth of the self and ultimately to shun all limited versions of one's autobiography that is presented by one's own subjectivity. I am no good, I don't like myself, I am not successful enough, I am not famous enough, I have not accomplished enough, not enough, not enough, not enough, I want, I want, I want, I lack, I lack, I lack. There is a impetus to overcome that, whether it is recognized or not. When it is recognized, it is celebrated as seeking one's source. The person is a mumukshu, a seeker of freedom from the whole gamut of this subjective and wrong understanding of the self. And when it is not understood, it's a very sad travesty, because the person lives and dies away, lives and dies away, lives and dies away without knowing the truth of the self. And so, ajnanam in the human being comes with a twist. And what is that twist? That is the other side of the blessing of the free will. And while the free will helps one to enjoy this universe and to seek the truth of oneself, ultimately, the other side of the free will is that one is free enough to come to wrong judgments about the nature of the I. One freely wallows in self pity, and then has a internet group to commiserate, because misery loves company, you see. This is how it goes. So has an internet group to commiserate, where everyone comes on and talks. And what is this club? This club is people clubbed together to talk about how sad they are. Sometimes such groups, have a spiritual bent of mind, whatever that means. So they come together and sing sad songs. That's why it's called sad sang. They sat and they sang sad songs. Oh, kaha ho, where are you? Why have you abandoned me? What have I done that is so wrong? Show me your face, Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna says, I'm looking into your eyes right now. Yeah, I can't help it if you won't open your eyes and see me seeing you. You know, I'm there. I'm there in the form of your ability to see is me. Your ability to see is me. Your ability to hear is me. And underneath that sad violin that is playing, nobody loves me, that is me only. I'm upholding that sad song that you sing. Open, look. And this is what is called anyatha grahanam, which is atma ajnanam, self-ignorance, with a sad twist in the life of the human being. Ultimately, it's not that sad, because the ability to come out of this anyatha grahanam is also given. Just like Atma Ajnanam is given, one is born in it. It seems to be a legacy that one has already gained at birth. But the ability, the desire, and the ability to address and remove this self ignorance, which is the cause of samsara, sorrow, misery, wrong understanding, a sense of dysfunctionality and dysregulation with regard to one's atma, self, and then other jivas, and finally Ishvara, including, of course, the Jagat. All this has to, all this has to go, and that ability is also there. In justifying one more commentary to the Bhagavad Gita, because there were some other commentaries as well preceding Adi Shankaracharya, some of which are not available to us. But in justifying this commentary that he is writing, Adi Shankaracharya gives two reasons. The first one is what we have just seen. In order to banish this anyatha grahanam, not knowing the truth of myself, and therefore being free enough to come to whatever conclusions I want based on my own subjective projections. And these subjective projections are colored, of course, by Atma Ajnanam, self ignorance. So, this is the first reason he gives, to set the mumukshus into the correct direction, to give a sense of direction, so that when one is derailed, what happens is that this derailment causes one to lose one's orientation and go down the wrong path. So the commentary, Adi Shankara says, is a way to set the person who is interested in removing this Atma Ajnanam on the correct course. So this derailment is temporary. It has happened for a gamut of reasons. And the study of the Bhashya is a gentle readjustment to to catching hold of the correct path, he says in so many words. Catching hold of the correct path to freedom from whatever one does not want in one's life. This is the first reason. The second reason he gives is again very, very pertinent and in a way, prophetic, because he says that all these other commentaries have misled the people, are misleading the people, and setting them on various paths that are ultimately dead ends. If you mistakenly take a wrong turn when you're driving and you come across a board, no entry, dead end, you say, oh, I made a mistake, and then you correct your course and come out. But what if, just visualize this possibility. What if every turn you take says dead end? No outlet, dead end, turn back, danger. If this is what everything says, every turn you take, every move that you make says, no more you can go further on this road. Think about the despair. Think about the despondency. Meeting with so many dead ends leaves the individual deadened to any hope of any possibility of righting the course of life. And so he says, I want to show a path. And here is one of the very rare places where Adi Shankara uses the word aham, I, to refer to himself. Very rarely does that happen. And he says, I have taken up this commentary to write the path for people who are desperate, either because they have not encountered the Bhagavad Gita, which is a very good reason to feel desperate, because there is no hope, there is no opening, there is no solution or resolution staring at one. Or they know about the Bhagavad Gita, but they have been mired in, to say the least, controversial and wrong understandings from which I desire to extricate the good people, dharmic people, saintly people who are suffering for no reason. I wish to do that. This is why I am writing this commentary. He need not have written this commentary. And he and it is not because he wrote this commentary because he thought, I have to have some kind of a one-upmanship. Everyone else is writing like this, I will write differently. No. It was clearly a work for helping everyone in the throes of samsara. The ones who are in the throes of samsara, for them. Uddharanaya. Uddharanaya, to lift people up from wrong understanding and to set them on a path of freedom. This commentary, he says, is being written out of compassion. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita is beloved to us all because it is just dripping in love. See, the Upanishads are off-putting sometimes. Why? Because there are few words. In fact, the Gita is also known as the Upanishad because it has brought the words of the Upanishad to light in such a way that it has earned the status of the Upanishad, even though it is strictly speaking a secondary work on Vedanta, a secondary work composed by Bhagavan Vyasa. So it is not apaurusheya. It is not what is called the primary source book of the Hindu tradition in the form of the Veda. It is a secondary work. But still it is called Gita Upanishad because it simply reiterates the message of the Upanishads in a way that is extremely palatable, tasty, and filled with love. This is exactly what the Bhagavad Gita is. The Upanishads, it will say, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. Okay, done. Next. This is what the Upanishad does. It gives you the truth, very few frills attached. Some Upanishads have some very nice anecdotes, stories, how Nachiketa reached Yamaloka and how Lord Yama was out on tour. He was, after all, a collector and he had to go places. And then here is Nachiketa waiting. And then how he was taught the truth of the self through Vidya, Atma Vidya, through the knowledge of, so through the self knowledge in the form of the Kathopanishad. Those stories are delightful, but truth is, in the Upanishad, those are few and far between. What we have is the bare truth, nothing but the truth. And then, since the truth is in preci form, it's very, very small, economical use of words, hardly any repetition, then the Bhagavad Gita therefore becomes very delightful, very, very delightful, because it feeds the same truths and the narrative of the Upanishad in an extremely loving way. I remember my childhood, and in the childhood, in India, in my time when in that generation, we had this practice of, on the full moon night, all the children would be seated in the courtyard, and the grandmother would just make little balls of rice and whatever, some gravy, some dal, sambar, something, and then put it. There were no plates on that day. We did not eat on plates, and you were outside, pleasant full moon night, and everybody is sitting in a circle, and the grandmother is in the center of the circle, and then she would just distribute to all the grandchildren, one after the other, small little balls of food. And it would go easily, and then we would look around, is this one eaten, that one eaten? Oh, now the ball is there, now it will come to me after a little while. And then we would trace the circle and then talk to each other, and then similarly, then after that, yogurt, rice would come, and some other things would come, and it all would go in very, very nicely. And the same child, given the same amount of food on a plate, would push it away and say, I don't feel like eating, I can't eat this much, I don't want it. But there was something there in those little balls of rice fed from the hand of the grandmother. And some children would be very squeamish about getting their hands dirty, and the grandmother would put the food directly into the mouth. And there was something which was very, very delightful like that. The Bhagavad Gita is this kind of a feeding of the same vital vitals of knowledge, lovingly mixed together, made tasty, and fed in the lap of the mother, which is the embodiment of the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita is invoked as a goddess who lovingly feeds until when? Until the person is full. And that, and that fullness itself is the is the uh, is the message of the Bhagavad Gita as well as the Upanishad. Purnam adaha, the adaha, adas, the cause which is Bhagavan, the cause of the universe which is Bhagavan is what? Purna, full. And then Purnam idam, and that this Jagat which has come from Bhagavan is also limitless, whole, full. And from that cause which is Purna, this cause has come. That cause, and this cause means the local cause, effect, this effect. The Jagat has come from that cause. And then what? And then from that cause, this has come, this Jagat has come, a series, strings of empirical causes and effects. And the very interesting thing is that when the cause has as though manifested as the effect, what has happened? The cause is untouched. The cause is untouched. Unaffected is the cause. The cause does not become non existent. Why? Because the word cause is an as though that Brahman, that truth of oneself. The word cause is an as though superimposition. The causality is imbued to that nameless, formless, conscious, limitless entity, which is Atma, I, Brahman, the whole, same thing. And so this consciousness, this conscious entity is crowned with the status of Ishvara and as though becomes the cause of the universe by entering into each and every name and form, animating it, enlivening it, by lending its own presence, by lending its own awareness and sentiency. And then what happens? Then the so-called original Ishvara or cause doesn't go, doesn't disappear. Why? Because it is limitless. It as though animates every name and form without becoming the name and form. It animates this very body, this mind, the senses. It animates the sense of longing to be, uh, to discover and assimilate the truth of oneself. It brings to light everything. Ultimately, nameless, formless, causeless. And what about the effect? This Jagat also is Purna, limitless, whole, free, complete. Nothing but Bhagavan. Jagat is Bhagavan. This body is Bhagavan. The mind is Bhagavan. Really speaking, there is no effect. There is only Bhagavan. And Bhagavan in many names and many forms. And so, this, therefore, this knowledge is something which is extremely dear because it is given in the Bhagavad Gita in a way that is easy to assimilate and so lovingly given. The context is beautiful. The way in which the knowledge is fed is so, what can I say? It's so full, complete, without anything remaining to be had. In fact, it's not even like a full meal, it's like dessert from start to finish. It's like a dessert buffet where you are fed all kinds of wonderful, very easy to assimilate things. After which there is no sugar high. There is no high, there is no low, there is just there is just that beingness, which is placid, which is like a placid lake, not wanting anything else. The other reason why the Gita becomes very universally sought after is because it has a universal appeal. And what is this universal appeal? It doesn't matter where one comes from, whether one understands Sanskrit or not, and whether one knows the Mahabharata and the context of the Bhagavad Gita. Doesn't seem to matter at all. Why? Because it addresses, it bypasses the particulars, and the Bhagavad Gita, she as the goddess, addresses the primal problem of human longing. Longing, Trishna in Sanskrit. This Trishna is for what? This is what we have to see. This Trishna is directed, of course, when we look at the first perfunctory look, we see the Trishna directed towards all kinds of objects of delight, all kinds of objects of that one shuns. This Trishna is directed towards that. I want to make my life comfortable. I want to make my life happy. I want to make my life fulfilling. Okay, this is common for everybody. Okay, how are you going about it? Well, I have a 5-year plan. Indian government also keeps on having 5-year plans. I want to be at the end of 5 years, I want to be successful, I want to be rich, I want to be famous, I want to have a family, I want to build a house. And this is my 5-year plan. I want to have all these. This is my dream. These are my aspirations. This is what I want. And then included in the wants are certain don't wants. I don't want to fall sick. I don't want to be impaired. I don't want to become helpless. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be hopeless. I don't want any obstacles in the pursuit of my plans. I don't want other people to be mean to me. I don't want to be defrauded. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be cheated. I don't want to come uh, in the purview of the government. All these things. So this 5-year plan is a bunch of wants called raga and don't wants called dwesha. And this raga dwesha are the Lego blocks of samsara. This is what it is. You build a big wall between you and Bhagavan by these Lego bricks. And these Lego bricks come in colors, sizes, and shapes. The only thing to know about Lego bricks is that they attach to one another. Just like these raga dveshas, they all just nicely fit in and build a huge wall. First one, the person building the wall says, I need protection. Everybody is coming after me. The Jagat is coming after me. What I don't want is coming after me. Where are the raga, dvesha, Lego bricks? And then, you build the wall. You feel very good at first. Nobody can come in. And then that sadly, you look everywhere, imprisoned by the bricks of your own raga and dvesha. The jiva cries, let me out. Well, what happened? I thought you wanted to keep all these fellows out. No, let me out. I'm imprisoned. I can't even see. A lonely, haunted ghost of a self I am. imprisoned by my own Trishna, longing. And then I cry out even to Bhagavan, where are you? Bhagavan says, go to a teacher, study the Bhagavad Gita, and dismantle the wall. What should I do? I can't see any teacher. No teacher. Nothing. No text. No teacher. The wall is too high. Scale the wall. I can't scale the wall. Have you seen a Lego wall? Its sides are so smooth. There are no footholds. There are no handholds. How do I scale this wall? And one is a small little Lego creature. You can imagine in the middle of this this entombed by this wall, so to speak. And what to do? Well, there is only one option given. Let go of the Legos. That's why it is called let go. You have to let go of it. Let go of these Lego bricks. Oh, that's an interesting possibility. But where to start? At the foundation, which is Atma Ajnanam. And on that Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance, are the Lego bricks. I want, I don't want, 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 I want, I don't want. And then you can't, very soon you cannot see anything. And this wall of raga and dwesha threatens to take away even the understanding somewhere which is there deep down buried. What? That these objects of delight, gaining objects of delights and keeping at bay the objects that cause fear and sorrow, is not a viable, a tenable way of life. In fact, it makes me tired, exhausted, upset, fearful, and tearful. This is what is the message. And this one knows actually. Even as one is collecting more Lego bricks and discovering more Lego bricks in the attic of the mind, which one had put away, but then one dusts it off because one is desperate and one finds it hooking into various things. And some Legos are used to produce artifacts of delights. Whatever one wants, the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, the 15-year plan. And then what? One forgets that these longings are not going to be quenched by either gaining the object of the longing or keeping at bay what one does not want. Neither of those things are going to work. The Trishna is ultimately for what is represented by Krishna, one of the, the protagonist of the Bhagavad Gita. Trishna means longing. Krishna comes from the root verb krish, to draw. Krishna means Bhagavan, the one who draws everything unto oneself. The source of all longings is the desire to belong to the whole. If one doesn't belong, one is left longing. The desire to be one with the whole, to desire to belong to the whole. That is the longing. And the longing for this 5-year plan and all the list of things in the 5-year plans, list of accomplishments to have in the 5-year plan. What is that? That is a morphed longing, a longing that is not sensed properly, a longing that is ignored, a longing that is not understood fully, gets morphed into and transferred onto objects. The longing really is for the truth of the subject, not the objects. And so the longing has deflected from the subject and is directed to the object, simply because in the objects we can see. You can see the objects. You can objectify the objects. You can touch, feel. And the objects promise what is called an instant gratification, which everybody loves. And this is the way of modern life. And teenagers will tell you, I want it yesterday. Not today, I want it yesterday. This is how American teenagers talk. I want it and I want it yesterday. And here is where the rub is. Because the more one gets these small, small delights, small, small little longings fulfilled, and the joy that comes from it, and that joy is clung to. That joy is what belongs to you, not the object. Not the object at all. And so the, the, the building blocks of raga and dwesha, all these longings that are directed towards objects, threaten to shut off the subject I from the truth of myself, which is Bhagavan Krishna, represented by Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. This is what is missing. This is what is there. And so you can have the whole world in the palm of your hand. No problem. You can buy it. You can do so many things to it. And nowadays there is a lot of, people don't know what to do with their money. In spite of the pandemic, you find people getting rich, 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 richer, richer. What else to do? Blow it up. Blow it up by going to space for a few hours. Now there are all these space tours. Go to space. There is space in the head. Address that first. Go there first. That's why you are so spaced out. Address the space in the head and everything will be righted. You can feed, at least 1,000 villages with the money that you're spending to go to space. No, but I want to be and not only go to, I want to be the first one to go to space. And then there is no fun in going to space alone. And so I'm going to take a friend with me to go to space. Namo Namaha, we have to say. This is all where the raga dveshas have run awry. And so coming back, the building blocks give a clue how to have darshan of Bhagavan. How to have darshan of Bhagavan. Dismantle the building blocks, let go of the Lego. And that is what? The raga and the dwesha. So the Bhagavad Gita is a story, is the story of gently dismantling all the raga and dweshas. And you don't have to do it by this side, sitting in this circle like a well of a big wall of raga dvesha, glub, 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 drowning in your own tears. Salt water well, saline well, okay? Drowning in your own tears. You cry, Krishna. My fingernails are sore and bleeding from trying to grab the bricks of this wall. I don't seem to be getting anywhere. And Bhagavan will speak from the other side. I'm here to help you. Don't worry. Which block are you working on? The third from below. Okay, I'll loosen it up for you. It will just fall. And then there'll be a small chink. Look, I'm right there. I'm working on the block next to that. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutihi, Dhruvani Tirma Tirmama. The Bhagavad Gita ends. Why are we talking of the last verse? This is the first class, because the whole thing is a circle. That's why. The Bhagavad Gita ends with this hopeful and delightful promise. Where the Lord is, where Bhagavan is, the presence of the Lord is, What do you mean where the Lord is? Do I have to go to Vaikuntha or some kind of heaven somewhere? Is this what I have to do? No, no, no. Where the Lord abides, right here in your own heart. And so, where the Lord is means where the awareness, in the heart, where the awareness and the surrender to the Lord is, where I'm not afraid to take help because the building blocks have just congealed, because the raga dweshas are hot. They are urgent, full of rajas. So putting them together seals them in a way I just don't seem to be able to claw at them at all. Help, this is bhakti. Just saying help is bhakti. And then, so where the awareness of the Lord in the heart is, Yatra Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara, the Lord of magic, the one who can magically dismantle this wall that you have built through not generations but lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of building blocks. One can dismantle that in a trice. Yogeshwara. The Ishvara that wields yoga he is here is magic, said by the Lord in the 9th chapter itself, where he says, Pashyame Yogam Aishwaram. Look at this magic. This is the magic. Because all knowing, all pervasive, what is a little wall for Bhagavan? Nothing. Effortlessly, Bhagavan will dismantle. You just have to ask. So, where that awareness and that ready to surrender are there, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. And where the Arjuna is the person to whom the Bhagavad Gita has been taught, the one of the Pandava princes. More about that next week we will see. So this is the one of the Pandava princes to whom the Bhagavad Gita was taught, and he excels himself as a student. He is in fact a fitting and a model disciple in terms of asking the correct questions, asking the right way at the right time, helping all of us. So, where the awareness of Bhagavan in the heart is, and where the yearning for this knowledge is, and where the discipleship is like Arjuna, Partha, son of Pritha, Dhanurdhara. And what kind of Partha? The one who is wielding the bow and arrow, meaning not afraid to do whatever it takes to protect oneself from the onslaught of this pain and sorrow. That is what Dhanu also is erect, so it's straight, and so that shows the bow and the arrow and the bow together. They what is that? They represent the desire to uphold a righteous way of life, dharma. That's why Lord Rama also carries a bow. And then, so when these two are there, when there is a disciple like Arjuna and when there is a teacher like Lord Krishna, then the promise of the Bhagavad Gita is that Tatra, right there, everything you want is right there. Shrihi, all abundance, the dismantling of the scarcity mentality, I don't have enough, I'm not enough, including any kind of needs that one has in the empirical world, are taken care of. Vijaya, success. Success comes. Success of dismantling this wall, which leaves one free to pursue whatever one wants. And bhuti means all material comforts, everything is included. If you pursue the dismantling of the wall as your primary pursuit in life, if you focus all other purusharthas, all other desires, your 5-year plan is taken care of. Bhagavan says that. I will take care of your 5-year plan. I will take care of your 5-year plan. Bhagavan says that very, very clearly. And it happens also. And I still remember, there was some, we had one piece of land, one ashram in Georgia long back. And then trying to raise funds for it and trying to maintain it, etc., was so difficult, was so challenging. And then I went to my guru, I went to Pujya Swamiji, and on a piece of paper, I had written the shape of the land, drawn the shape of the land, and said, "This is how it is, and I just want you to look at it." And I just gave it. I didn't say I was having difficulty, nothing. I just gave it to him. And he looked at it and looked at it and looked at it. There was not much to look at, but he kept on looking at it. And then he did a very interesting thing. He folded it very carefully into two, and then into four, then into eight, that small piece of paper, then into 16, and then it could not be folded anymore. He folded it. Then I gave him the waste paper basket because I thought he was going to throw it. Instead, he put it in his pocket. He put it in his pocket and then patted his heart and looked at me and just shook, just very reassuringly just nodded. The Indian nod, okay? Not the American nod. This is the Indian nod. Nodded. And then he just said, "It's all taken care of." And it really was. It really, really was. And that is what the magic is. That is why Bhagavan Krishna is called Yogeshwara. That is the magic, that you don't have to keep on running after each and every brick and trying to build something and enjoy that. Included in the pursuit of the dismantling of raga and dwesha is all the purusharthas, all the things you ever want, ever need, ever have desired. So the dismantling of the raga dvesha is a pursuit called moksha. And as though pursuit, because one is already free, one is already whole, one is already happy, joyous, ananda. But and limitless, one is already limitless. Not knowing it due to the avarna shakti of maya, due to atma ajnanam, one suffers. One suffers a needless suffering in a way, because one is already what one wants to be. One has everything that one strives for. Because the ultimate striving is to feel acceptable in one's own eyes and in the eyes of others. Self approval and approval by others one seeks. And no matter how much approval one seeks by others, if there is no self approval, that is of no use. So, this self approval, which is tarnished and repeatedly attacked by self judgment, is the problem. This is the self sabotage that the scholars and saints and writers of Vedanta have talked about, the Upanishad herself talks about. And this is what has to go. How? Focus on that, on the root problem. And the root problem is the morphing of this desire into all kinds of small, small frittered projections, leaving one fried. Focus on where the problem is. Focus on the truth of oneself. Focus on the big thing in life, not the small things. Let go of the small desires and understand that these small desires are actually hiding the desire for the truth of the self, which is free, which is whole, which is limitless. And that delightful self is you. That delightful self is what you experience when you gain an object of delight. It is, and the object of delight at best gives a contact high. You are already free of wanting a high. And the being totally enmeshed and addicted to the pursuit of the objects detracts from and buries the desire to pursue the truth of the subject. And this, in short, is the message of the Bhagavad Gita. And this, in short, is what what has to be understood and pursued. And the Gita is beautiful because it does not have some kind of a drastic, what is it called, the drastic method. Drop everything, order orange dhotis on Amazon.com, wear the orange dhotis and go off into the sunset. That is the way, because that is what we see. Guru Parampara. Bhagavad Gita is clearing her throat and says, that is one way. That is one way, sure. If you're ready for it, you know, she says, yes, this is one way. This is a marga. This is the path. If you're ready, drop everything. Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. My house, my family, my life, my spouse, my shrine. People are attached to that also. My temple, all my things. My coffee cup. People are attached to that too. My coffee cup. And then my little things. How to let go? And just like the mother feeding the child on a full moon night effortlessly, Bhagavad Gita says, despair not. There is a way for you. There is a way to hang on to your coffee cup. No problem. Hang on to the coffee cup. And I will add, for now, okay? Hang on to the coffee cup. Hang on to little whatever it is. Hang on to the internet. Hang on to the outer net. Hang on to all kinds of things. Don't worry. I will find a way to pry it out of your hands without even you knowing. That is the beauty of it. And when it gets pried away, you won't even miss it. This is my promise, says the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, you will drop it on your own. Seeing the delightful truth, the autobiography of yourself, you will fall in love with yourself in a way that is very, very new, ever fresh, not narcissistic at all. You'll fall in love with yourself again. I will introduce you to that self who is not a crybaby, not a whining person, not one who is complaining all the time, not one who is always helpless and victimized, not one who is traumatized, not one who is always missing something or somebody or the other all the time. I will introduce you to that you, which is a surprise, which is delightful. In fact, you want to hang out with that you want to hang out with yourself. The reason you are avoiding yourself and burying yourself in everything, starting with the internet and smartphone, is because you don't know this. You haven't befriended yourself as I see you. I will show you. The Bhagavad Gita says, what I see. I will show you the you that you have longed for, not the you that you avoid, not the you that you are sick of, not the you that you cannot handle. And where is this I? I told you, just beyond the wall. I thought beyond the wall was you, oh Krishna. Yes, you are me. I am you. Let go of the Lego bricks of raga dweshas. See me as you. This is the message. And next week, we will see the context of the Bhagavad Gita. We will see the dhyana shlokas, which are very, very delightful introduction. And then we will set foot into the Bhashya of Lord Adi Shankaracharya, Lord, Bhagavat Pada, Lord Adi Shankaracharya, will set foot into the Bhashya. So don't go away yet, because I want to share some documents with you so that you can, hang on to them and then have them for next time. So we will do that. And so we will say the closing prayer. I will share the documents, and then if there are any questions, you can ask. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. The first document that I'm about to share comes from Chris, who has painstakingly taken Pujya Swamiji's Gita home study and just culled the translation and the transliteration and the word by word meaning of all the verses. Very beautiful. So that is what I will share first, and then I will share the what is that, the Shankara Bhashya in English. So you can have that. So I think that one is going to come first. Hold on. So there that goes. And then there is in fact two, so you can have a choice of the bhashyas. One is by Ramachandra Iyer, and one is by Swami Gambhirananda. So that is also there. And then there is a very nice document that I'm also sharing, which will help you, because this is called the Bhagavad Gita Dictionary. So immediately you can have, I don't know if you have this one, but immediately if you want to look up the meaning verse by verse, very nice. And you can alphabetically, and then you can look at the meaning, which verses it comes under. Very, very nice. So I have shared the Bhagavad Gita Dictionary, which is very, very nice. And then what else? What is this called? The uh, Chris, are you here? Yeah. Do you have that one that you sent? Can you share that, please? Because I'm not able to find what I called it. I renamed it, so I'm not able to get that. So if you don't mind sharing it in the chat pod. So please download it as soon as it comes up, all of this. So right now we have two bhashyas in English, and then we have the Bhagavad Gita dictionary. And then Chris is about to share that thing that I told.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
the dictionary hasn't come yet. I wonder if it's only there it is. Okay.
Yeah, it has come. And then Chris has also shared the whole text with Pujya Swami, a great labor of love. Thank you. And Janani has shared that, or Chris has shared, somebody has shared that. Very nice. Thank you. And so please keep these are very wonderful treasures, and then you can hold on to them, and next time we will need all of them. Okay, so you can have them, and then we can look at and then get into the commentary, and this will be very, very delightful. We can we can proceed at our own pace, and we'll have a good time with one another. All right. All the best. Any
Swaminiji,
questions?
the
Yes.
dictionary has not come through. Dictionary has not come through, I think. The two
Varliya.
varla.
Marudi
So
anupre. I'll
okay.
send it again. I just sent it. Okay, wait for it. Let us see. Maybe I sent it to somebody by mistake, and maybe somebody was saying hello, and then I sent it to them directly. That's what happens. Yeah, just give 1 second. I will send it again.
Okay, Swami. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it went to Janani.
I
Yeah, special
think it
present
did,
for
Swamiji.
Janani.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't see, because sometimes, yeah. Has it come
Now
now?
we got it, Swami.
Vandacha. Yeah, very nice. This is a wonderful dictionary. It's so lovely, because it will give all the Sanskrit words, and then it will give the meaning, and it will give the verse number where it occurs, and it's all alphabetized. A very, very precious thing to have.
Swamiji, it's also taking quite a long time to download, so
It's only 1.47 MB.
No,
not so much.
the first one, the Bhagavad Gita commentary.
Yeah. That's why we have to all stay together. So ask some questions, because if I go away, then everything will go. So ask some questions, or or talk to me if you like, or talk to each other if you like.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
Swaminiji,
Yes,
I don't
boliye.
know how to download this because I don't see it here anywhere.
Me
So-
tumala pathwin. Don't worry, I'll send it
Okay,
all of you.
okay.
You'll get it in email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Swamiji, will there be a Sanskrit Bhashyam text like?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That also I will give.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's on the hard drive. I did not
Okay.
have the time to get that, so I will Sanskrit Bhashyam also. I'll give, no problem. In fact, the English one should have the Sanskrit verses. Sanskrit Bhashya should be there. If it is not, I will give it. The one by Iyer should have that, I thought. The Gambhirananda doesn't have. I know that's totally in English, but the one by Iyer should have. Let's see. Let me just do a quick check. Yeah, it also doesn't have. I will send you one that has that, okay? Next time I will share.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Ilona is joining the class at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is this is great dedication. May it long continue. You can take a nice nap in the afternoon, okay? Yeah. Wonderful. Has everybody downloaded everything? Yes? Beena cannot see the uploads. Okay. Who else cannot see the uploads? Somebody
Cannot
else.
see.
Who?
Yeah, I cannot see also. I will take from. I'll email Janani or someone and take it.
Yeah. Email Janani. There we go.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Email
I will.
Janani. So Geeta can email Janani. Who else cannot see? Somebody else also wrote. Rashmi.
So
Rashmi,
maybe
what
I
is your
can.
Rashmi, what is your email address? Please give your email address. They are not together, Pratima. They are all separate. Yeah. Janani, can you please take this address down?
Yes, Swaminiji.
Yeah, and please send her. And please send Pratima also.
Yes,
Deshji, Pratima. Who else did not get?
Geeta.
Beena, and Shankar. Shankar also hasn't got.
Swami, me also, Tanuja Prabhu Desai. I'm on my phone, so I've been trying to do it on my laptop and I'm not able to.
Okay, now
So,
tell me. So this one, yeah. You please copy these. Tanuja's email address we do not have. You have to write that and tell. So we have Nagi, we have Tanuja, Kirti, Rashmi, and Deshji and Geeta. Okay, and Lata and Beena, sisters from India, from Delhi, and from Mumbai and Delhi, respectively.
Swami,
Yeah.
I'm on the laptop, but I cannot see on that.
No. Just give your email address, dear. We will send
I'll
it.
do that.
That's all I want.
Hmm.
Yeah, give your email address. That's all we need. Yeah, not Lata. Lata's email address we have, but this one. Tanuja, type your email address.